So exam one will have basically different versions of these problems, and then there will I think there's a total of like 5 or 6 questions. We're counting the bonus. It's worth, I believe, 110 points. It is, there shouldn't be any surprises. Just a matter of working these problems. I take the I'm basically create the conceptual questions from the lectures and the slides, especially the concept checks at the end of each section. Those are very good. Those are very good, very important things to know, and if you're comfortable with that information, you should do really well. If you've listened to the lectures and read the book, I mean, you should literally knock it out of the park. So, okay.
Got it.
All right. So, and just, okay, important things. Print out the 2022 tax rate schedules, and then print out your or print out or write out your cheat sheet. Again, 8.5 by 11, front and back. That's inches. You that the way Proctorio is set up, you will have you won't be able to open anything other than the exam. So if you don't, if you try to open something else, Proctorio kicks you out of the exam. So
are we going to need Excel or anything on this, or are we just working everything by hand?
Everything's on the calculator on this exam. So this is not set up so that you can access Excel. Okay. So an exam's available for 24 hours beginning Wednesday night at midnight till midnight on Thursday. And I think that's pretty much it. All I can think of. So, any questions before I start with the review?
Nope.
Okay. Welcome, Antoine. You own a corporate bond with a 10% yield. Your marginal tax rate is 30%. What is your after-tax yield? So, oops. Yeah. All right. So, the after-tax yield is going to be the taxable rate, the 10%, times 1 minus the marginal tax rate. So that's 30% or 0.3. So 10 times 0.7 is 7. So the correct way to enter that on the exam would be 7.00, no percent sign. Anybody good with after-tax yield?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
yep.
Good. All right, so the next one is a future value of a lump sum question. You deposited $20,000 into an IRA 20 years ago. How much is in the account today if you earn 10% compounded annually? So the N is the number of years. In this case, it's a number. It's compounding annually, so N's 20. IY is the rate, so 10%. PV is the amount you've deposited, that'd be entered as a negative. So payment is 0. One of the big mistakes I see on questions like this is people will put this down here. When you put it, use the payment register, you're telling it that you made that payment every year. So that would be putting it down here tells it this is one time. Down here, in this case, would be 20 times. So that would pretty much be a fatal error as far as to compute future value. 550. That is even. So if you did want to use a formula, the future value is going to be equal to the 20,000 times 1 plus the rate. So in this case, that would be 1.1 to the 20th power, and get the same answer. 34. That future value and present value of a lump sum are fairly simple formulas. When you get into annuities, things get a little more complicated. So that's why we have financial calculators. So, all right. So next, any questions here?
Nope. No, sir.
Okay. All right. So you deposit $100 monthly into a 401 to your 401k. It earns 12% return for 25 years. How much is in the account today? So we got $100 monthly. So we got N is going to be a monthly. There's the number of months. So 25 times 12 months in a year. That's 300. And we need a monthly rate. So 12 divided by 12 is 1%. PV in this case is 0 because there's nothing in the account to start with. And then payment is the $100. And then we compute future value. And that's $187,884.66. So if we were going to do that this is where the formulas start to get ugly. So it would be 100 times 1 plus the rate, 0.12, so 0.12 divided by 12 to the 300th power, and then divided by 0.12 divided by 12. That's minus 1 up there. Sorry, I left out part of it. So again, that would be $187,884.66. Yeah. So when you start using the payment function, like I said, the calculation gets a lot more complicated. So, any questions there?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So another future valuable lump sum, the monthly compounding here. So you deposit $100,000 into an IRA 20 years ago. How much is in the account today if you earn 6% compounded monthly? So 20 times 12 is 240. So IOI is you need a monthly rate. So it's 6 divided by 12.5. PV is the $100,000. In this case, if you didn't enter the negative, your answer will just come out as a negative. So it's not, it's not the end of the world. And if you don't use the right convention when um, on the next exam, you'll actually get an error message. So it's more important. But but the way to so anything that comes out of your pocket, whether it's an investment or an expense, should be entered as a negative. So on this calculator. So compute future values. So that's $331,020.45. So if we're going to do a formula, just be 100,000 times 1 plus the rate 0.06. Whoops, 0.06 divided by 12 to the 240th power. And we should get the same number, $331,020.45. Okay. All right. So next is a tax liability calculation. So this is a married filing jointly calculation. So you want to go to the tax rate schedule that says married filing jointly. Also qualifying widower. So a qualifying widower can file use this tax rate schedule. A widow or widower can use this schedule in the year in which their spouse passes, plus 2 additional years. So after that, you go back to the single taxpayer table. So anyway, so here all we do is we add the 2 together and calculate their taxable income. So the taxable income is 150,000. So we just go down the table and we find this. These are what are called the brackets. So if we find where 150,000 fits in, so it's going to fit in right here. So our tax liability is going to be $9,615. So that $9,615 is the tax liability for $83,550. So it's going to be that plus 22% of the amount over that $83,550. So tax liability is going to be $9,615 plus 22% multiplied by 150,000 minus the $83,550. So if you're using your calculator, you'll want to do this your BA2 plus. You want to do this calculation first and add the $9,615. But good idea to practice it. Make sure you come out with the correct answer. So the marginal tax. The tax liability is $23,234. Their marginal tax rate, MTR, is 22%. So, and then just, we didn't ask for it here, but your average tax rate is just the $24,234 divided by their taxable income. So that's 0.1616. On the exam, it's would be entered as a percentage, so 16.00 would be the correct way to enter it. Marginal is, and since we have a progressive tax system, and meaning if you make more money, you pay a greater percentage of your income in taxes. We have in the United States, we have a progressive tax system. So in that case, your marginal tax rate is always going to be 1616. That's the correct way to enter the answer on the exam. 0.1 or 16.16. All right. So, but the marginal tax rate is always going to be higher than the average tax rate, as long as you're, in this case, if you made 20,550 or less, your marginal tax rate and your average tax rate would be the same. But if you make anything more than that, your marginal tax rate is going to be more than your average. So, questions about this problem, married filing jointly, or anything of that sort? All right. So the last one is married filing separately. So Bob and Amanda, same couple, same income, 50,000 and 100,000 respectively. You're going to go to the married filing separately table, and we're going to find the brackets for them individually. So so we go down. So 50,000 is between 41,775 and $89,075. So that's so Bob's marginal tax rate is going to be 22%. So it's going to be $4,807.50 plus 22% of the amount over 41,775, and then Amanda is going to go into the next tax bracket. So it's so she's 150,000 falls in here. So it's 15,213.50 plus 24% of the amount over $89,075. Then we calculate those individual tax liabilities and then add them together. So their tax is likely to be slightly more. But it's not always the case, but generally is. So tax liability for Bob, so that's $4,807.50 for 807.50 plus 22%, 0.22 times 50,000 minus 41,775. So that's $6,617. And then Amanda, that go to the next bracket, $15,213.50 plus 24% times 100,000 minus $89,075. That's $17,825.50. So we add the two tax liabilities together and get $24,442.50. So so we got two marginal tax rates 22% for Bob, and 24% for Amanda. The average tax rate is going to be the 24,442.50 divided by 150,000. So that's 0.1630 or 16.30%. So slightly more than the 16.16 that they got filing jointly. So that's there will be, marginal tax rate questions, average tax rate questions, so forth on the problems. But just, they're just going to ask you to what the marginal tax rates are or what the average tax rate is in the different situations. So, but the problems on the exam are literally just different versions of these types of problems. So it's if you can work these problems and the other set of problems that I worked at the second week of class, that is remember that's available under the event recordings in WebEx. So you can go back and look at that. This one's being recorded as well. I highly recommend you go back and look at both of them. Practice and get really comfortable working them. We all have a harder time remembering when we experience anxiety, and nothing more obvious than to show that a test situation. If you're new to Proctorio, there's a practice quiz that you can play with. It has nothing to do with the class. It just the point of it is to help you get set up in Proctorio and make sure that everything's compatible with your computer. If you get asked for a passcode, that means that you have an issue with Proctorio. Okay, the first thing that I would recommend doing would be to reinstall the Proctorio add-in, and then if the second thing would be to if it's still that doesn't solve your problem, contact Proctorio. If you have a poor internet connection where you live, you might want to find somewhere else to go and take the exam. Sometimes Proctorio will act up if your internet speeds are below whatever their acceptable levels are. I don't know what level that is, but I've had people who are in rural areas that had issues taking exams, and they would, generally were able to solve it by going somewhere else and using the internet, using better internet. So people who would go into a conference room at work, or lock their office at work, so forth, that kind of thing. And I'm sure if you could go to campus if that's an option for you. So, anyway, questions?
Will there be any other questions from the lesson, the modules, like the book, like definitions and things?
Yeah, there the exam will there are two sections of the exam. The first section is conceptual questions. And I may have been before you got on, but the conceptual questions come from the lectures and the slides. Okay, so if you recall in the slides, there are a lot of those questions come from the concept checks. So if you recall, every section of every chapter has concept checks, and those are where a lot of the those as I think probably before you got on, I told Brandon, if you've watched the lectures and you should be in pretty good shape with regard to the concept questions. If you watch the lectures and read the chapters, I mean, you should nail it. They're not, you know, this. I, I intentionally don't make this class difficult because it's, I feel that this class is for your benefit. So it's more than any other class. You're going to get out of it what you put into it, and it's in this class. This class is for your personal benefit. They're pretty hard to find another class at the university that would that I mean, you can use the information from this class every day for the rest of your life, and if you do so, you will probably be more financially successful than the rest of us who've made mistakes along the way. So, yeah. Okay. And anything else?
No, sir.
So just to give you an idea, the conceptual questions are 60% of the exam, and then the problems are 40% of the exam, and then the bonus, I believe the bonus is, I forget, 10 or 12 points. I'm not sure, but the bonus is just a slightly more difficult version of these problems that's kind of designed to reward you for putting in a little bit of extra effort. Okay. Well, that's
Is this closed notes, closed book, all that stuff?
yeah. But you get the cheat sheet just like in my other classes. So 8.5 by 11-inch cheat sheet. You can put anything on there you want. You do need to remember to print out the tax rate schedules. So Proctorio will not. I tried putting links in the exam, and it's like if you it's stupid. It's like if you click on the link more than once, it kicks you out of the exam. Like, well, what if you have two problems where you might close, it's like just anyway. So but so print out the tax rate schedules and have if you've typed your cheat sheet, print it out. If you've handwritten, have it right there, so forth, and you should be good. Okay. Other questions?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you go. If you have any questions in the interim, don't be shy. The worst thing you can do is suffer in silence. So let me know if you're having issues working any of the problems, so forth. If you have any other questions, just shoot me an email. If we can't solve it on email, we'll get back on here.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good luck on the exam, and we'll be back here. We'll be back here next Tuesday. We'll review all the exam problems and answer your questions, so forth. Okay.
All right, have a good weekend.
Thanks. You too.